Hello, Brian.
Hey,
Thank you so much for saving me without having to do this by myself today because I had no one. No,
no
I really
worries. Thanks for
appreciate
having
you.
me on.
I really
Yeah,
appreciate you. We
yeah.
were just talking backstage, and it's been since November of 23 since you were on the last time. That's a long time. And
Mm-hmm.
I have not seen you on for a while, but I'm going to go through the chat real quick. There's a few people here. There's Evelyn, ready to hear your story, Brian. Rick is on his way home, and that's you. Sarah in Nevada. Oh, wow. I do not think you were going live today. Hello, hello. No angry puppies at me today because I'm swimming them now. Brenda Jones is here. Hello, Brenda. Hey, y'all boys have been hot in South Carolina this week. Waiting to hear your story, Brian. Yep. Rick is looking forward to it. This is Lynn, Cindy, Brian, and everyone. And Evelyn saying hello to everybody. Hi, Sherry. Haven't you changed your name or have I not noticed? Keto Helpline. Yeah, that is a difference. Evelyn, are you starting a channel? Do tell. Good evening, Sean. And Naomi's here. Hello, Naomi. So, where have you been these past, man, almost 2 years
Almost
now?
2 years.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
So, I've been around. I've had a YouTube channel since I guess spring of 23. And I've continued to put out videos. But I have noticed that my viewership has gone down some. So, um, you know, I I don't know exactly why that is, but I'm not like the biggest channel out there or anything, and I just do what I do because I try to help people and don't worry about how many people watch my channel and so forth. So I share my experiences, share other interesting things I find about mostly about carnivore, but I include low carb. I'm like a proponent of low carb altogether.
Mhm.
Um, Obviously, I've been doing the carnivore diet. I will say I started with keto. Actually, started that in spring of 2022, and I did it for about 2 to 3 months. I did lose a little bit of weight with keto, but I didn't really fix any of my issues I had, like health wise. I had AFib. I had a lot of pain and so forth, inflammation, and I didn't seem to fix any of that stuff until I went to carnivore. So that was my own personal experience, where I know other people just by going low carb that they fix some of those issues, and I
Mhm.
unfortunately didn't. Um, but so that's what I started was with keto, and then that was in July 1st, actually, of 2022. So I'm basically right at 3 years now on carnivore. We're almost July 1st, so we might as well say it's 3 years.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've just been, sharing my experience and so forth. And I will say I don't get to view things on YouTube as much as I used to because my personal life, my family has been really busy, a lot of things going on. And maybe that kind of contributes some with not having as much viewership on my channel. I don't know. Um, but it's kind of where it's been. So I see there's a lot of comments coming in the chat. That's
Yes.
great.
Yeah, it is. But prior to keto, low carb, before you went
Hmm.
carnivore, what were you? I know you mentioned a couple of your health issues because some people didn't hear your story back in November of 23.
Hmm.
What are
Yeah.
some of the things that have totally reversed itself going carnivore?
So I'll just start with the big one, and that's AFib.
Mhm.
Before carnivore, I was having 2 to 3 episodes a week. So there's there's basically two different types of AFib. There's one where you're constantly in it all the time and you never go out of it without some sort of intervention, like I forget what they call it, where they'll put you under and they do the shocking thing to your heart. I forget exactly what they call that. But
Right.
that's one way you can get out of it. And then the other type of AFib is where it comes and goes intermittently, and that's what I had. So I would go into AFib, and sometimes it would be a few hours, maybe 12 hours, 24 hours, and then I'd go back out of it again.
Wow.
Typically, I went out on my own. Sometimes it was because of medication that was lowering my heart rate, and that would help me get out of it. So that was my biggest thing. I was having 2 to 3 episodes a week, and shortly after I started Carnivore, the episode stopped. So I'm pretty much 3 years now without a single episode. And again, I was having 2 to 3 weeks. So that was
That's
huge
huge.
for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was on a blood thinner and was taking other medication to lower my heart rate and so forth. And I think it was in the fall of 2023. So probably about the time that I was on your channel last. My cardiologist took me off the blood thinner because I hadn't been going so long without being on AFib. He did like a 30-day heart monitor thing to make sure I wasn't going into it without knowing, that kind of stuff. And excuse me. And so that was done. And then I went back in again this last fall and had a stress test and all that stuff, and everything was still good. So that's where I'm at. Luckily, I haven't been on the blood thinner for quite a while now, which is a good thing, because before, when I was on it, I was always worried about something happening that I would start bleeding out too bad, right? Like my
Yeah.
family and I went to the Smoky Mountains, and we would do some hikes, but there are some that are a little bit rockier and, more risky. And with being on a blood thinner, I would be like, no, I can't do those. So I would just stay back and wait for them to do the hikes. And now I don't have to worry about that anymore. I can, because I was always afraid, like, you're out in the middle of nowhere. If I
Yep.
like fell, got hurt, and started bleeding, I could bleed out and die before they could get to me. So, not having that blood thinner is huge. And I'd say that's probably the biggest thing for me. But I had lots of other things. I used to get really bad swelling in like my joints, ankles, big toes. I had arthritis actually in the big toes, but my knees, elbows, wrists, that kind of stuff. And that has gone away with being on Carnivore. I don't have any of those issues anymore. I used to
Nice.
snore a lot. My wife told me probably a few weeks into doing Carnivore that she was like, I don't know why, but you stopped snoring. You never snore at night anymore. So that was a big thing.
You probably had to make sure you were
Um,
still breathing.
yeah, yeah. Back pain. So before keto even, um, I could not sleep all night in bed. I would toss and turn, and I'd get a few hours in, and I just could not lay in bed anymore. And I'd go downstairs to a recliner and sleep on the recliner the rest of the night.
Mhm.
And that started to get better, I could tell, with keto. And by the time I went to Carnivore, I was able to sleep through the night without having any pain. And I don't have any type of back pain anymore now. So let's see. Those are some of the big main things, I think. Some other things, like I had minor depression, that went away. I got better energy. Really, I started to notice some of the energy with keto.
Mhm.
Um, and I would say probably 6 months after doing Carnivore, like the energy and the my mood being happier, calmer, all those things seem to really, really skyrocket at that point.
Right. It's awesome. It's just so impressive. Either all aspects of the proper human diet, so to speak, have so many benefits for so many different people across the board. Um, I know I have been more meat heavy keto for almost 5 years. And
Mhm.
this month I've been doing, like I told you, beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. And it's been great. I mean, I've done it before. It's a very strict carnivore, but it's okay. Um, yeah, so there's just so many ways to do this right, that works for you to make it
Mhm.
sustainable. So you don't want to just jump off every time you it's like, okay, I can't do this, or I want this too much that I can't do this part. I got to do something different. Like some people are great with doing straight up carnivore. Some are so strict, it's the lion diet. Some are more lenient using whatever spices and dairy and all that. Where do you fit in that spectrum?
Um, I I will have some dairy, not a lot. I will say this for me, carnivore has been better for me than when I was starting with keto, and in the sense of if I eat something that has just a little bit of sugar in it, and this can just be like fruits or vegetables that you might eat with keto, it tends to trigger me, and then I just want to eat badly. And this has even been a problem every once in a while with carnivore. If I decide, like, I'll just tell you because I've shared this before. Last Christmas time, I decided I was going to just have a Christmas cookie, right? So I did that. And the next day, I said, you know what? I've been doing good. Why not? I'll have another cookie. And before I knew it, within 2 to 3 weeks, I was eating bad stuff and gaining weight. And
Yeah,
luckily, I was able to catch myself. That was since I've been carnivore, that's been the worst time I've had. I've never gone more than just a meal or two eating badly, right? But I went like 2 to 3 weeks of eating bad, and I gained like 15 to 20 pounds in that 2 to 3
right.
week period.
It's so
And
easy.
yeah, and that's the thing, like for
Crazy.
me, like I just even now I just have that carb addiction if I go back to it. So for me, it's better to stay completely away from it. Um, and I know there's lots of people that don't have that same issue and they're fine and they can
Mhm.
eat a little bit here and there and they're fine, but
Right.
I've found that that doesn't work for me. So that's probably one of the biggest reasons that carnivore is better for me is that I can stay away from those foods most of the time, unless like in
Right.
the holiday time I mess up. But
Well, see, that's big because a lot of people don't really pay that close attention and they don't pinpoint those triggers.
mhm,
You have figured that out. And it's like, okay, is this worth it to me? And that's where you got to ask yourself, do I really want to do this? Because now I got
yeah,
to remember, hey, this didn't work for me the last time. You know, I like I
mhm,
was telling you backstage, Chalk Zero just grabbed me by the arm and just pulled me right along with it, and I loved it. I have a bad sweet tooth, and even after losing 100 and some pounds on keto, just regular straight up 20 total carbs or less keto, I went full force when I started, and it was like, but then it went 90 days without any sweets, nothing. But it was probably it was like 22 months I had lost 100 pounds on keto. I've never gone whole hog carnivore. I am very meat heavy ketovore because I enjoy keto chow. And that's one thing I do miss with beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. But, I was pre diabetic and within 3 months that was gone on keto. I was on blood pressure medication since I was a teenager. And I'm 67 years old. I just got off of blood pressure meds when I hit that 100-pound mark, and things went so well. And after 50 years of not having, and then not having to take them, That was huge for me because they do a number on you. Just so many others. I've had both of my knees replaced prior to keto, but I also had arthritis in my back that's gone, and I haven't been riddled with that at all since then. But it's so incredible to me. Like I was saying, all the benefits that everybody has experienced, however, whichever way they're eating, that should be the biggest benefit and the biggest goal for everybody should be better health, regardless of how that is for that person. And I'm gonna get to some of these chats. JG, that's a tricky one. Hi, carnivore friends. I'll say hi, even though I'm not a carnivore. I was wondering the same thing, Sherry, about Evelyn's name. All about the algorithms. You're not kidding. Hello, Peter, Papa Carnivore. Oh boy, another quack is here. Yep, Rick. Holly Springer's here. Hello, friends. Hello, Holly. And JG, I was going to say this is amazing till I saw this. I'm sure you have a good story, but that, I've been married and divorced twice. I'm on my third marriage and final, and it's the greatest ever. So, yeah, I was like, yay, that's awesome. And this. Aaron's here. Hi, everyone. I'll be listening. I have to charge my phone. Hello, Aaron. And Peter, I'm down 101 pounds on carnivore. That's great. So I did that on keto. So it is definitely possible. It's great. Hey, Evelyn. Good job, Peter. Papa. So is Papa for Papa or Grandpa? You divorced your wife because of carnivore? That's like, thanks, JG. I appreciate your channel. Mine? Thank you. I don't know who he's talking to. Probably you, because that's just how it goes. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's show. I won't be there because I'll be on the road. Good day, Brian. Running Tap 12. Hello, welcome to the chat. You did it, Papa. That's awesome. Yes. Defibrillation. That's what that's.
Yep. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Cindy, and all in the chat listening in. This is Karen. They have a good channel too. Low Carb Spin. Good recipes. Good recipes. Thank you. Hello. Been following him since his inception. Yeah. I did for a long time. I don't get any messages, any notifications at all.
Yeah.
Sure. So that's reason enough to eat this way. No more AFib. You're not kidding. That alone is big.
Mm-hmm.
And Brian, did your cardiologist give you a hard time about carnivore?
Actually not really, but I didn't technically say I was doing carnivore. So I said I was doing low carb. And at first he said that wouldn't make a difference for AFib. And that, so this was at first, I'd lost a little bit of weight and hadn't had any episodes in a while. And he said that, I think at that point I was like 3 months without an episode. And he's like, it's going to happen again.
Oh, thanks, Doc.
There's not, basically, it was, it's going to happen again. We could look at a procedure where we actually burn out the spots in your heart that the electrical signals are getting messed up in. That sounds really scary to me. I'm like, no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But, he did over time, while he felt a little baffled that diet could make the difference. He did say it's working. Continue doing what you're doing. And let me add a little backstory to this. When I started with AFib, that was in 2018. And in 2017, I actually lost a lot of weight, about 100 pounds, but it was a way of eating that wasn't very sustainable. And I started to gain the weight back. So I started to get AFib after gaining a few pounds back, but I still wasn't that heavy yet when I first got AFib. So he knew where I was in terms of weight. So he knew that it wasn't just that, oh, I had lost at that point. I think I had lost like 50 or 60 pounds. And it wasn't like, oh, because I lost 50 or 60 pounds, because at that point, when I wasn't having AFib episodes anymore, I was still heavier than when I first got AFib. So he didn't even try to play that as in it's because you
Right.
lost weight. And then, yeah, over time, like he was like, yeah, keep doing what you're doing. But I didn't actually say I was doing carnivore. I just said I was doing low carb. Now, my regular doctor that I had, he told me right off the bat when I just said I was doing low carb that wasn't a good thing. But I don't have that doctor anymore. So that's okay.
Yeah. I have to say, when I started keto, I had a doctor. We were living in New Hampshire at the time. And our doctor was so supportive right off the bat. Told him what we were doing or what I was doing. My husband followed suit a couple weeks after I started. And it was like, okay, this is because I kept hearing all these horror stories about doctors saying, oh, no, no, no. Well, he was so supportive right from the start. It was like, okay, this is great. We moved to Kentucky in October of 21. And the doctor we originally started with, my husband still goes to him. He was a jerk. He never bashed keto, and I've always been forthright with what I'm doing. If they don't like it, that's their problem, because I'm going to stand up for myself. I don't care. So, it was, he was just weird. I mean, I went into him. I had Dr. Barry's book in my hand, Common Sense Labs. Asked him to do certain labs. He said, I don't know why you want those. And I had all the questions. I was ready for all the questions. I had the book. I was like, this is why I want them. Well, I don't know who this guy is, but he doesn't know what he's talking about. Well, I'm like, that just tore. That was it for me with this dude. So, I have a different doctor. She's great. She's an APRN, actually. And she knows what I'm doing. She's perfectly fine with it. And when I get my blood work back, now she's quite a bit younger than I am. And it's funny because she'll get my blood work and she said, your blood work is better than mine. I said, what does that tell you? What I'm doing is good. She said, my veins flow of tallow. Sure, mine do too with all this beef I've been eating. Hi, Donna. I said, sorry, not ignoring anyone in and out of the kitchen, but listening. We know better than that. I did not change anything. I don't know what's going on. I know I noticed that along with Holly's, instead of just Holly Springer, it says at Holly Springer with the numbers. There could be something that StreamYard's doing or YouTube's doing. Who knows? Anna just pulled in the driveway. Asking Evelyn if she started. JG Tallow. Yeah. Then there's Sherry. Yep. And then there is Sherry. She eats very little meat. But it works for her. And that's what's most important. I told my doctor that I'm on a healthy, whole foods, meat-based diet, and he thinks it's great. That's awesome.
See,
Like I
that's
said,
a
I
good
don't
way
go
to say
fat.
it.
Yeah, I just tell him like it is. This is what I'm doing. I think, I had started, well, because you've been watching, I had started bowling for the first time in like 20 years, 2 years ago. And I pulled something in in the back of my shoulder. And I went to the doctor and she's like, she gave me a muscle relaxer. I took one, it's caused palpitations that I'm trying not to have any of. Long story there. So I didn't take any more. I only took one of them and that was it. And I continued to bowl. So I went back to her again. She said, you might have to stop bowling for a little bit. I said, no, it's not going to happen. I said, I'll put patches on it. I'll put some icy hot on it, but I'm going to continue to bowl. So continue to eat the way I've been eating. She finally sent me to an ortho. By the time I could get the appointment, when I went to him, I wasn't in any more pain. It was like, so I told him what had happened. And I said she had asked me to quit bowling for a bit. And I told her that wasn't an option because it's something I had just gotten back into. It's something that I had done since I was 9 years old and stopped in my 40s because of all the arthritis and all that stuff. And I said, just getting back into this, no. He said, you did the absolute right thing because if you weren't using the muscles that were affected, it would have atrophied on you. So it was like, I know my body, so I don't care what the doctors say to me. It's like, I don't care, but I tell them like it is. This is what I'm doing. It's just craziness. Little does he know what I really eat, or he would tell me I'm going to die of a massive heart attack. Everybody's going to die of something. It's just a matter of when. That's it. There's a lot of people in the chat that are coming from your channel, Brian, that really don't know me or any bit of my story. And here's a good question. Have you ever had your CAC checked?
I have not.
Okay. Everybody, Dr. Barry says it's important to know. Dr. Ovadia, who is a heart surgeon, said it's a really good thing to know. Well, I went and had one done. Now, mind you, I just said I was on more than 50 years of blood pressure medication. I kept seeing everybody's CAC score 0, or they'd freak out if it was 50 or 100. And I know you've heard this before, Brian. My score came back over 5,000 the first time I had it done. So I saw Dr. Barry on a live with Dr. Ovadia, and I had just gotten my results back, and I was a freaking mess because that puts me at 95 percentile of someone to have a heart attack. That right off the bat. So I'm like, my dad died at 56 of a heart attack. My mom died at 74 of a heart attack. We're almost sure. So, heart disease is in my family too. So it is, my brother died at the age of 49. There's a lot of young deaths there. And it's like, so anyway, I paid to ask a question. And Dr. Ovadia said, well, this is your first test. Repeat it in a year and see what's going on. Keep doing what you're doing as far as how I was eating. Repeat it in a year. I did. It went up even higher to 6,100 and something. So then I'm watching videos and live streams and Intentional Carnivore, Sean White, which I really miss him. He had Dr. Ovadia on there live, and I got to ask him a question about it. He said, most people, as you age, your CAC score will go up 20%. Mine went up 10%. I said, all right, I take that as a win. I am never having another one done because it was such a stressor. I was a mess for so long. My poor husband and my sister Deb, she'll be in the chat eventually. She's got Tai Chi class tonight. Between the two of them, I was a hysterical mess after knowing these scores. And I felt great. That was the thing. I feel great. I feel way better than I did in my 40s. So it's like, how do you do that? How do you go through that? And the test is easy. It's just an ultrasound. It's no big deal. But it was an eye opener for me. I would get spells of tachycardia, not AFib, but rapid heart rate over 200
Right.
beats a minute. It would last about
Mm.
a minute and then it would be back to normal. Those have lessened considerably since since keto and meat heavier, keto. So yeah, it's just wild. So for those of you that don't know me, there's a little bit of my story, just a little bit. I'm used to subtracting letters from your name. Now it's adding stuff. Evelyn's. I eat a little carbs, 95% carnivore daily. Yeah, that's what I've been doing this month. And let me tell you, hats off to all the real serious carnivores. I've also reverse cured type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, fatty liver, IBS, gout, migraines, chronic arthritis, depression, anxiety, ADHD, and off all meds. Well, Peter, you need to come on with me and tell your story for those that don't know. JGLOL wife. Bobby, you must feel like a new man. Yep, I get it. That's right. I'm 95% carnivore too. I sometimes have some pickles with my steak or some sauerkraut. Let's I drink a cup of coffee every day. That's one thing you could do without because that's disgusting stuff. I don't do coffee. I don't drink coffee. Yep, it's like night and day. Went from size 44 pants, BMI of 40, to size 34 and BMI of 24. That's fantastic. Running? Yes. Wife has been mostly carnivore after seeing my improvements. Great. Amazing. Yes. Energy is off the charts. Testosterone went from 200 zero libido to 650 at age 63. My girlfriend has to run from me now. I bet she probably does willingly too. Run. I'm just kidding. This is great. Good evening, everyone. Lisa eats fatty meat. Yep. Ryan is right. I'm a sugar addict, so any sweet tastes are to be avoided at all costs, or I'm in huge trouble. Yep. Now this weekend's going to be interesting for me. But, yeah. Funny G. JG, I thought you said you divorced your wife. Exactly. He did say that. Rick's finally home. Carnivore champion.
Hey.
I
So that's Johnny
recognize
who I
that
was
face.
yeah. So that's Johnny who I was talking about that I've been doing the live streams with on Wednesdays.
I recognize the face. Just got home from work. Glad I caught you guys. Hello. It was a joke. I love my wife if she cooks me beef. Even if she doesn't, you could cook your own. That's all there is to it. Probably number 2. Hi, everyone. Donna here. Hello, Donna. I'm sure itchy from fiberglass. I don't doubt that a bit. Okay, gotcha. And this is my sister. And again, part of my story. She's the one that got me started on keto almost 5 years ago. So I have a lot to thank her about. Itchy. See, I figured that out. I was divorced 13 years ago, way before carnivore. Now I have a beautiful, wonderful girlfriend. So why aren't you getting married? Don't just. I have an old defibrillator in my collection as a gag. Oh man, Rick. To borrow it, I'm feeling a massive heart attack coming on any day now. I think we all probably are. I agree tomorrow will be interesting. Life is full of peaks and trials. Papa got to ride the storm out. Yep. And Dustin, thank you for the super chat. Okay, I'm here. The show can officially start. Yes. Now, finally, you show up. I'm just kidding. Come on over. You or Carrie are going to You and Carrie are going to meet, huh? I don't know who he's talking to.
He's
JG,
talking about
maybe?
Rick.
That should be interesting. I hope you guys get that conversation on video. Yeah. Carrie is afraid of me in person, but we might have our first online session. There you go. Have fun with that. Hey, Sean. 99% of doctors are big pharma sponsored. And I'm just saying hello. It should be live on my Saturday session in a couple of weeks. There you go. I think it'd be great if Carrie interviewed you, Rick. Yeah. I think Carrie got upset when he lost 100 subscribers. Oh, daggone. I don't know what happened. I never heard that. I've never been drawn to Carrie. Never understood why he never did. I had short interviews on his marathon live streams. Take care, peeps. Bye, JG. Carrie has over 300,000 subs. I don't think he'd be upset about losing 100. Oh, we won't go. Liked and shared. Thank you, Sherry. You are awesome. I think when Carrie began, he liked me, but once he found Maggie, I was no longer special. Well, he certainly
Rick's
knows.
still special.
That's right. He is a special case.
He was the first person I interviewed on my channel, by the way. Rick was.
Rick was?
Yeah.
Very good.
I think he was the first interview for a lot of people though. So
right. He has not been on mine. Not yet.
Mhm.
Not yet. Whatever, I think I have more influence than I think. Possibly. You never know. Give him thumbs up, peeps. Yes. Give us both thumbs up. That'd be great. I'm having keto chow, cookie dough, and bacon for dinner. You're killing me, Evelyn. Killing me. I haven't had any keto chow since May. Maggie's got you by 20 years. Holy moly. She's not in the US. Well, however, I'm still the longest male carnivore and the tallest. I don't know. You're 6'5", right, Rick? So is Dr. Barry, Dr. Baker, Dr. Chafee. They're all right about 6'5".
Yeah, is Rick 6'5" or 6'6", somewhere in there?
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty tall.
There
There you go,
everybody
6'6".
knows
He just put in he's
who you
6'6".
are. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
jumping ahead.
Sorry.
I know who you are. That's okay, because I'm trying to get caught up here. Most doctors are clueless. Yep. I came over here to hit the like button, but I saw you two quacks. Picked up 2 junk batteries and carried them to my van for 600 feet. I was thinking of the Maggie challenge. I don't know anything about that, so you'll have to clue me in.
I'm not sure what the Maggie challenge is either, but Maggie
Oh,
has been a carnivore for a long time. I
yeah.
think like 65 years or something like that. And she's like 82 years old or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm just doing that low carb thing. Aaron is actually doing beef, butter, bacon, and eggs this month, too. That's good, Evelyn. We had Mission Carnivore pizza, and I'm eating a frozen whipped cream and Equip treat. Gosh. Yes, the 2 quacks. Booby goats. Did you hit over 100 subscribers? Did I? Who are you talking to, Dustin?
I don't know.
Evelyn. In 2010, when I had YouTube problems, the energy community did not step up for me like the carnivore community has. Yeah. This whole community, the PhD community, is fantastic all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're seeing how many people support you, Rick. Yeah. He'd never admit it. No, it's using my handle instead of my name, just like Holly, Sherry, and Deb. This had always been my handle. It's weird the way it's doing that. What did Dr. Berry say recently to call this type of diet to the doctors? It was something on the line of whole food, ancestrally appropriate diet. That sounds about like him. I just call it what it is. I don't care what they say. Every time someone says heart attack, who do you think of? Every time I hear somebody say heart attack, I think of my father. That's him. Evan, are you still rocking and rolling from the cruise? Did you like it enough to want to do another one? That's a good question. Rick's heart attack diet. All right. Sadly, some people are offended by the term heart attack. I guess.
Yes. So the little backstory here, Rick started Carnivore 40, 41, 42 years ago, somewhere in there. Because everybody told him it was the heart attack diet that, he'd get a heart attack from it. So that's why he started it. And he's still 42 years later waiting for that heart attack to happen. So that's kind of the inside joke with it's Rick's heart attack diet.
Right. I do watch him on occasion. What? Yes, every 3 to 4 years. Just win the lottery, Evelyn, and then you can share. Whatever happened to Sean White? I don't know. I don't know. I had him on once after he disappeared for a while. And then I haven't seen anything from him. Still post on Facebook every now and then. Thank you, Brian. I'm getting there.
Well, there'll be more comments coming from other people on it, so you'll see more.
Did you ever ask Dr. Berry about that high CAC and see what he thought about it? The first question I asked was Dr. Berry and Dr. Ovadia, and they pretty much agreed. And then I saw him at Keto Palooza in 24, and I talked to him about it. He said, "You need to have another one done." I said, "No, I don't." It's too much of a stressor. No, I don't. I hope he didn't go back to the duck food. But when naysayers question my way of eating, I tell them I've been trying very hard to give myself a massive heart attack. Keep getting healthier and better. Wow. Evelyn's response about the cruise on the sea days that others were getting sick. I just closed my eyes, pretended I was on a roller coaster. I considered it a bonus. Yeah. See, I would probably get seasick because I don't like that feeling either. John White fell off the wagon, gained all his weight back, or most of it. That's too bad, is right. Yes, intentional carnivore. So Sean isn't posting videos anymore. He doesn't want anyone to see him. When he came on mine, it's been a while now. He had gained quite a bit of it back. So, but he did come on and talk about it a little bit. Whoa, the chat just jumped on me. Holy moly, I am so far behind. I am so sorry. That's what I heard from a good source, but I could be wrong, of course. You wouldn't think he'd fall off the wagon. Hey, Charlie, I'll see you tomorrow. Carnivore is only the elites. Not everyone can do it. It's hard, but hard things are the best things in life, right? Sometimes. Keeping something sustainable for people is what's important. If it's improving their health, that's the most important thing. Good evening, Jeff. We will miss you tomorrow. John knows we will never judge him. Nobody, I'll tell you, that I love that, because no one on the face of the earth has any right to judge another person, no matter what they're doing, how they eat, nothing. No one has any right to do that. Remember, we're a very small elite group for sure. There's your channel, Brian. Thank you, Evelyn. Won't judge anyone. I know how it feels to be obese and sick and depressed. It's terrible. It is. Yeah. All that kind of goes hand in hand. It makes you feel that way. I really feel sad that I will never understand why anyone would willingly eat duck foot and duck food. At Cindy LOL wedding. Yes. See? What is up with all the changed names? I don't know. It's either, like I said, it's either something StreamYard did or it's something YouTube did. I don't know. Sugar and carb addition. Rick, you've never experienced it, but hundreds of millions of people have. Yep. Cindy putting pressure on Papa. No, just asking a question. If she's so fantastic, got to hold on to that. There's not a whole lot of people out there. I'm sure some people are offended by my lack of understanding. It's hard. I guess it's hard to understand when you've never been in that situation. But where so many of us have been, and Rick, you've heard many, many people's stories. Yeah. I guess to do with her StreamYard Sherry. I don't know. I don't know either. It didn't do this until today. It's crazy. I feel left out. I have the same old name I've always had. You're good. Handle and name were probably the same, Lynn. Yep. I'm late. Hello, Brian. He's late, but eat meat. I have a steak in there waiting for me when we get out there. It's probably because you started Carnivore so young, Rick. Yep. That was the first interview for a lot of great channels. Who is Carrie, and do I even want to know? Carrie Mann, Homestead How.
Yep.
That's who he is. You have no idea. And finally, I got to 6'6". So he's only an inch taller than Barry, Baker, and Chafee. I've met them all. They're all very tall. I have a grandson that's going to be about that height when he's done growing. They're the same, Evelyn. Guess I'm boring. No, you're not boring, Lynn. Very good at chopping banana plants. Girl, you wear me. Watching her videos wears me out. Erin, she's always so busy in there. It's crazy. There's Peter's channel. Brian, what carnivore channels do you recommend we check out besides yours, of course?
Rick's, yep. Rick likes to put a lot of comedy into things as well, so that's good. He does a lot of tinkering with different electronics and stuff like that too. So if you're really into that, it's pretty cool.
And he wants you to call him at his house.
Yeah.
On his landline.
Yep.
One of these days I'm going to, Rick, when I'm actually at home for your live stream.
So if you're into working out on this way of eating, the Carnivore Champion is another good channel. He does a lot of motivational type of videos with working out and stuff like that. And then, like, you know, I couldn't not say like the doctor channels, Dr. Barry, Dr. Baker, Dr. Chafee, Dr. Kiltz, Dr. Tony Hampton, Dr. Wiedemann, Lisa Wiedemann. Those are all good channels to check out. I personally like Professor Bart Kay's channel. Some people get turned off by the way he portrays things on his channel, although he's kind of changing the way he does things more lately. But I think that, you know, he puts out a lot of really good, solid information. Mm-hmm. There's so many good channels out there, really. But
if you want a fun one, Aaron, Booby Goats. Yes.
I was going to say Cassie and Larry as well from Carnivore Quest, and Dave Mack. Dave Mack interviews like everybody. I think he's done over 1,000 interviews.
He has
on
agreed
his
to
channel.
come on here.
Yeah,
He's coming up. Let me stop.
that's great.
Hold on.
Dave's a great guy.
Dave Mack is going to be on July 18th. July 8th.
He's a great guy.
July 8th at 3 in the afternoon. I will be on with Dr. Nelson. And then August 12th, early in the morning, I'll be on with Dr. Kiltz, Dr. Nelson, and Alia. It's like, it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
There's a lot, Sherry, a whole lot.
Yeah, there are a lot.
Gary subscribed. Gary Mann, Homestead How. Hello, Marcy Me from Texas. I will be in Fort Worth the beginning of August for a bowling tournament. There's Rick's channel, Carnivore Champions. I heard about that. Sean lost his father to cancer. He's fallen off the wagon. He's a good guy, and I pray he's doing okay. Exactly. I'm already subscribed to your channel, Brian. Yeah, because you did that when the first time he was on here a long time ago.
Yeah.
Right, Cindy. No judging. Yes. Carb addict here too. Yeah. I think everybody but Rick was a carb addict. Most everybody. I mean, I hear a lot of people's stories, from doing these lives, and I love them. It's like I've gotten to know so many really fantastic people, and not all of them that I've met in person, like you, Brian. We've never met other than this way. And it's just an amazing experience because you get to know so many people's stories and the things they've overcome by changing the way you eat. And it's just incredible. Oh, is Carrie the guy everyone sent me to for last guy with the psoriasis? That I don't know. You have no idea. You're always welcome to call. One of these days, dude. Tomorrow I'll be on the road, so it ain't gonna happen tomorrow. Ryan is awesome. He recommended my channel first. Yep. There's Carnivore Champions channel. Can't play Professor Bart on the big TV. I haven't watched him, so I can't even tell you. Can't even react to that. I have no clue. Give me some insight, Brian.
I'm guessing maybe because some of his videos have some bad profanity, but he's
Lord.
kind of going away from that now. So
I'll tell you, I watched this person, I say that loosely, who has promoted the sugar diet. I watched like 2 minutes of one of his videos, and every other word was F this, F that, F this, F that. And he was yelling the whole way through. I'm like, no, I'm done. I turned that off. I'm not going there. Thomas Target Prime Rib. Yep, there's another one, Sherry. I'm listening while I tidy up the kitchen. Well, good job, Dustin. Hi, Aaron, Dave Mack, and he interviewed me first. Yep. I've been on Dave Mack's channel. He's great. Yes, he's going to be on my channel. I did watch the video, but I cannot and will not be just carnivore. I was never as bad as that Lash guy was. I have never seen it, have never heard of him, so I can't say that. Yes, semi-retired Bob, Sherry. He's come a long way too. And there's Bart K's channel. Hi, good Lynn. I went to school with Cassie from Carnivore Quest. Evelyn did. And there's their channel. I know, I was there a couple years ago. We went to, it was in April though. We went to Hack Your Health when it was in Austin. And then I went back I went in May one time. I have a friend that lives in Dallas. So, yeah, I've been there when it's hot. It's crazy. Prayers for Sean. Yep, absolutely. Dave Mack's channel. Evelyn's on top of it. Call Rick's rotary phone. Let's do it. I bowled in 2 PBA 50 tournaments a few years ago. Dude, I bowled in the senior tournament in Cynthiana, Kentucky, and I took first place for my age group, which is why we're going to Fort Worth, because that's the next step. And yeah, that's good. Yes, that's the moron. Yeah, sorry, sorry, not judging. He's it's tough. That I can't even imagine. He is the muscle behind it. Yeah, guy who always sweats and swears. Yeah, of course, Dustin, Keto Simples channel. Carnivore Jerry's in the house. There's another carnivore channel for you, Sherry. Oh, sorry, I'm late to the party. It's cold in Wisconsin. Ran into bed under covers to warm up. Hello, time the Hail Cindy gang. I do live streams on Wednesdays with my husband. And I gotta say, because people that don't know in the chat, Sherry Nevada Pup actually lives in Arizona. She sent me a short video one day of it hailing in Arizona. Now, my brain thinks Arizona, it's freaking hot. And the thought that it was hailing just blew my mind. So I talked about it in my Wednesday live stream after that. And then Sean Bradley, who is in the chat, he says, "What the hell?" And it has stuck. That is the big thing now. My Wednesday live streams are "What the Hail?" And my group is called the Hail Raisers. And my sister came up with that one. That was funny. We have fun. It's all fun there. Cole Robinson is a sugar diet muscle head dude. Yep. And the foul mouth. Old guy carnivore Mitch. There's
Yep.
another one, Sherry.
Yep, that's another good channel.
Yep. I did reach out to him one time before he had a stroke. I had watched him one time and I reached out to him about coming on here to tell his story. And he said, "Well, I have to check out your channel first." Never heard another word. I'm like, fine, whatever. I was not a carb addict either. I just had a husband who fed me the wrong foods. He is a sad gourmet chef. I got heavy eating breads and pasta. It was never sugar. You're lucky because man, a sweet tooth is tough. Hey, Jerry. Yep, don't forget Mitch. Hey, Evie. I'm subscribed to a lot of those. Thanks for the recommendations. I'm currently carnivore based. And she's doing good. Sherry, what is the update on your husband? Her husband was supposed to have had surgery today, I believe, removing a toe. So hopefully he's okay. They were both on a couple weeks ago. Thanks, Evie. Hey, Jerry, says Dustin. It never gets cold here anymore. In Florida, I guess not. There's Sean. He's the one that did it. Hail raisers are the best. Yeah. Hail raisers unite. See? That's it. There's Mitch's channel. Well, Guy Carnivore had me on his channel and even gave me my own sound effect. I bet those boys and their toys, you know, all that stuff. Mitch doesn't like to do interviews. Well, I would imagine, especially not now, but he's made a remarkable recovery after that stroke. Not all of Arizona is hot. I get it. If you get up in the northern part, there'll be mountains and might get snow and cooler times. See, I found that out, Naomi, when I saw the hail, because like, what the hell? Saying hail raisers is the closest I get to using profanity. We're going to turn it around. No. Somebody retired Bob's channel. It has Zero Carb Life. Of course,
Yep.
Kelly Hogan. Yes, that's a given.
Yep.
Rick says, duck it. I would probably screw up if I did that too often. That would be bad news, Rick. Here we go. Surgery's on hold till he sees vascular and gets an MRI. He also has to get the bridge shots so he can stop blood thinners. Well, I've got to make a video. Have fun with that. I've been enjoying yours. Dr. Westman's channel. There's another one. Another one. There's Kelly's.
Mhm.
You have a good night, Aaron, and I'll be checking out your video later. So you are doing all carnivore and doing well. I can see it in your face. I mean, you look very healthy and come a long way in the last 2 years almost.
Are you talking about me?
Yes, I'm
Oh,
talking to you.
okay.
I'm back to
I
not
thought you were talking
ignoring
about
the
someone
chat,
in the
but
chat.
off the chat.
Oh
No,
boy.
you.
Yeah, I'm 51, gonna be 52 in about 5 months, I guess.
You're still young.
Yeah, I guess I don't know, but I will say at 51, I feel better than probably since like my mid 20s, probably.
Mhm.
The energy that I have, just I'm a calmer person. Like for a lot of my like 30s and 40s, I felt like I got agitated all the time very quickly, would get upset, didn't want to do things, especially in my 40s. As I got into my 40s, I didn't feel like ever really going out and doing things. And like, I don't know, maybe 6 months or so after I started the carnivore diet, I think there was one time I turned to my wife and I said, well, let's go out and do something. And she just looked at me like, are you okay? Like, you never want to go out and do anything. But, it's changed. It just changes you and
Right.
you feel better and you want to do things and so forth,
Yeah. When I lost my weight, I did that without any exercise whatsoever. And I look at people and I'm thinking, I was almost 300 pounds when I started keto. And I had, after having both knees replaced and all that, and then the back arthritis and all the crap, all the stuff, I had to heal. I had to feel better. And not that I was sick, because I felt okay. I was never that sick. Like I said, I was pre-diabetic. I had high blood pressure, but it didn't affect how I really felt, you know? But it was like, once I lost that 100 pounds, it was like, man, like you said, the energy just kicks in. I was going for walks and doing this and doing that. And, I felt so much better. That's when God, I want to do things. I don't want to just sit here now. I don't want to just ugh. I don't want to just exist. Now I want to live my life, because I
Yeah.
didn't for a long time. And as far as agitation goes, I'll tell you what, I was a single mom of 2 young boys. And you talk about somebody agitated, I was ready, there's this lady, this elderly woman that I had met years ago. She said, yeah, I about killed my kids every day. Every day I threatened to kill them if they didn't straighten up. But it was like, it was all in fun, of course, but she was funny. And but yeah, and I get it. I used to be so short tempered with them and everything. All the it was hard. It was hard being a single mother and working 2 jobs and and everything, and then having to come home to some BS. It was like, no, not
Yeah.
happening. Y'all know how to act. But yeah, it was crazy. There, Brian says, Dr. Boss and the late Dr. Bernstein. Wow, that man is incredible. Was incredible. Yeah, Dr. Westman, he's a great guy. I've had the pleasure to meet him and talk with him a bit. Yep. There's another one, Sherry. Lily Kane has a good channel. Wickster, you animal carnivore sensations. And there's Dr. Westman's channel. Sherry said, I live in Kingman. I'm at 3,500 feet. It snows here every year. Although they are short, I really get all the seasons. There's just lots of desert. Hail on 4-3, though, was for sure. What the hail? I mean, it was big pieces of hail. It's crazy. Crazy. And Jerry said, don't forget Lindy. Paleo Barbie does keto. And Carnivore Champions got to go. Have fun, y'all. See you next time. Thank you for stopping by. And Rick has an official comedy bit on Mitch's channel now. Duck sound effects. About time you visit us over here, Donna. Dustin said Chris Cooking Nashville. Now
Yeah.
that man is a genius in the kitchen. For all the carnivores out there, if you have not done his recipes, I don't know what is wrong with you all. They're great for me. They're great. And there's Victor of Southern Keto. He's got another good channel.
Yeah,
Not a carnivore channel like Sherry
let
was
me go back.
about, but yeah.
Can I go back to Chris Cooking Nashville real quick?
Absolutely.
Some people talk about this way of eating, whether it's keto, ketovore, carnivore, lion diet, whatever. They talk about it being too restrictive and not enough variation. Chris Cooking Nashville is the channel you want to check out if you think that, because he will show you how much variation you can have and still be eating carnivore.
Yep, carnivore or keto. He's more carnivore. His wife is more keto. He cooks for both of them. And I've made some of his recipes. I've made his mashed potatoes, which are incredible. It's like he's a genius. The things he comes up with, it's just wow. People ask me, why don't you put some cooking videos up? I said, because I can't hold a candle compared to him. There's no way. It's crazy. But yeah, I've had the opportunity to go to his house, my husband and I, and cooked with him and had a meal with them at their house. And oh my God, they are just the most down to earth people and just very special. So yeah, his channel, yeah. But if you're carnivore and you ain't making his recipes, what is wrong with you? That was funny. You talking to me? You are the guest, Brian. Carnivore sensations. Go, Cindy. Go, Cindy, you animal. That's funny. And then he left after that. Why is Wick on the right? Because it's my channel. It's my live stream. That's why. Yeah, like he said, I'm Cindy's guest. The hail video is on my Facebook page, which is where you saw it, Cindy. But I'm going to put it on my YouTube channel. Yes, ma'am, because it was great. Who doesn't love Chris Cooking Nashville? Chris and Ash both. That's right. And Ash Taylor is a fantastic country artist. Just saying. She's great. You're her guest on your channel? Odd, but okay. He just shared it on his channel so that you all could come and join us in the chat. Yes, it's on both channels. Sure, so you can hold a candle to my cooking, Cindy. That's, I appreciate that, but no, it's craziness. But yeah, Chris, Ash, and Mel, their golden retriever. I call myself a vegivore. I think I'm the only one, but that is okay as long as y'all still love me. Absolutely, Sherry. In fact, the smoke alarm goes off a lot. You're crazy, girl. You're crazy. So if you'd made any of his recipes, now I'm gonna put you on the spot, Brian.
I did his mashed potatoes before. Thought they were pretty good.
Mhm.
Trying to remember. There may be another one. I know for sure I did the mashed potatoes and they were pretty good. Um, I I've I watched some of those videos, but I will say that I don't tend to do a lot of variation.
Mhm.
So, um, I've got some recipes out there on my channel, some videos that I've done, but
Mhm.
most of the time when I do something like that, my my thought is this is good. It's not something I would do all the time, but I'd probably eat this every once in a while. That
Right.
type of
Well,
thing,
he
right?
even says, Chris even says, we don't cook like this all the time.
Yeah.
He's in the process of getting a cookbook out. But Evelyn says his 90-second bread is awesome. She
Mm.
just said. Sherry said, Chris's recipes have helped me get more meat in me. Still not going to get me to eat steak, though. That's just who
Mm.
she is, and that's fine. But yeah, I've tried that once. I got to try it again after beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. Brian, did you ever drink a keto chow? And what, if any, carnivore desserts, if any, do you eat?
So I have tried keto chow before. Um, I did like the starter pack thing or whatever, where they give you,
Uh-huh.
I don't know, like 5 or 6 different flavors,
Right.
and I thought they were good. Um, but again, I do best when I stay complete, really mostly beef, maybe some eggs.
Mhm.
So if I eat mostly beef, eggs, occasionally some chicken or something like that, that's when I do my best. Um, when I start to introduce other stuff, that's when I might get more tempted to eat bad foods. So while I have tried them, I thought they were good. I haven't had them anytime recently, probably in the last year or two.
Okay.
What about any carnivore desserts do you eat? Um, Dr. Kilt's ice cream, I have tried and I thought it was all right. Again, it's like one of those things where it's not something that I feel like I really have to eat. Um, that's probably the only carnivore dessert I can think of that I've tried.
How do you think that compares to keto chow ice cream? Or did you have it as ice cream?
I didn't have it as ice cream. I actually had it as a shake.
You're missing out.
Yeah.
No,
I just did the keto chow packet with
great.
water and made a shake out of it. That's how I did the keto chow stuff.
No fat in it?
Oh, I did put butter in there. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so good. Anyhow, Bella from Steak and Butter Gal has a lot of good recipes. There you go. Sherry, here's another one. Sherry said, my smoke alarms went off when I made the pork belly. We just smoked a slab of pork belly today that I can't wait to get in there and cut some off and air fry those little bits. And
Mm.
whew, I haven't had any all month, and it's okay on beef, butter, bacon, and eggs because it's bacon. I would like to try a 90-second bread. Yes. Question, Brian, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on sardines?
I had sardines. a couple times before. Um, I actually have a live video from probably, boy, I don't know, a year or so ago, where Greg and I did the sardine challenge with Erin. Um, Erin Inspired is her channel name, and Nicole. I don't think she has her channel anymore. But she was
I know who you're talking
low
about.
carb coach. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did a sardine challenge, and it was quite interesting. So my problem was I was in a small room when we did the challenge, and I had the door closed and everything, and we did it early in the live stream. It started to get a bit smelly after a while in there, and yeah,
Ugh, no.
there were a lot of bloopers from that live stream. Let me tell you.
People refuse to remove themselves from the stereotypical food. That is a huge downfall and a recipe for disaster. Now, I gotta say, and I get where he's coming from, like with Chris's mashed potatoes, the stereotypical food. If you missed something or you really enjoyed something and you want a certain way of life to be sustainable because it has improved so many health issues, why not find a way to have that and still stay in that realm that you're in? You know, as I got to tell you, it, did you like pancakes, Brian? Just
Not
for
really.
instance, prior to keto, prior to.
I wasn't much of a pancake person, but I was a waffle person. And I got to tell you, I recently tried for the first time chaffles. Did I say that right? The cheese and egg.
Yep.
And that is really good. I got to admit, that's really
It
good.
is good. I'm going to tell you, I made Chris Cooking Nashville's pancake recipe one day. Now, my husband, like I told you backstage, and a lot of people know, my husband is a type 1 diabetic. He loves to eat. This man, and he's been doing keto with me. His A1C has improved immensely. He uses way less insulin than he did pre keto, of course. But I'm sitting there making these pancakes, and he's across the room from me eating his. He said, "Now these are pancakes." They were amazing, and it's just another one of those like his mashed potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that's really good, if you like pizza, he has a carnivore pizza, and he has a recipe for his Alfredo sauce to put on it. Amazing, really, really good.
Yeah.
So, yes, it awakens the demons.
I think that's the same. The sardines.
Hey, that would. 90-second bread is really good, and I even make it with the wrong protein powder. Wow, nice. Iguana for dessert. No, Rick, no. What the hell? It's Friday already. Cheers from Oregon. Hello, Angel. Thank you. Come on, Cindy, you got to do it. Every Wednesday, somebody brings up the subject of sardines because those decisions is what you got there in the first place. That's why. You know, to each their own, though. Nobody should be knocked for what they're doing now. Another thing was the hush puppies. Yes, very good of what Kristen makes. And they're all with carnivore ingredients. You know, it's not like it's going to make you rush out and get the real thing or the previous bad thing for you. So it's good. You know, I will stand by him no matter what. Cindy loves to make Chris Cookie Nashville's noodles. I hate the pastry bags, piping bags. Nope. Is that Chris with the pizza and Alfredo? Yes, Chris Cooking Nashville's carnivore pizza with Alfredo sauce. It is delicious. It's recently made hamburger pancakes. They looked funky, but she said they were good, and so did Brian. Brian said they were okay. It wasn't his favorite, but he said they were great. Okay. It's crab cakes. I saw another YouTuber, Terry Least, put some a cooked ground beef patty in the blender and put eggs in it, and she made waffles. Okay. Well, I took that a step further, and I put already browned the ground beef in the blender, cut up a couple of beef hot dogs, and put eggs in there, and I made pancakes. It was weird. It took on the flavor of hot dogs, which I'm not a big fan of, but when you're doing beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, you got to get creative. They were okay. Not the best, but they were okay. I ate them. The batter for corn dogs is amazing. Thick, crisp mix. Yep. Anything. I mean, it's just wild. He's a genius in the kitchen. But yeah. What is your wife eating this way with you, or low carb, or keto, or?
No. So she did try low carb for a little bit, maybe a couple weeks, but she just hasn't really. So nobody actually in my immediate family has tried eating this way. I do have an uncle that's now been eating this way for about a month or two, and he's lost a good amount of weight in that time frame and has noticed like pain has gone away and energy levels are going up, so that's good. But yeah, most of the people in my family don't, they see the changes that I've had, and like my wife has even said, over at first she was like, I'm not so sure that it's a good idea, but you do what you need to do. And then over time it was kind of like, yeah, I really see that it's working for you. So, while maybe at first within the family there was a little more hesitation, they're fine with it now, but nobody's eating this way. So
Yeah,
I've
a
found,
lot of
even talking with others, that it's hard to get people that are really close to you to change the way that they're eating.
right. It is. I have two sons. One is very ill. Another one is not the healthiest, but he's doing all right as far as, but not the way he's eating. And it's an aggravation. They live in New Hampshire, but when I started this and I lost 100 pounds, well, I still lived up there, and they saw it firsthand. You know, they saw my health improving, everything, and yeah, it was crazy. So yeah, I just, you can only talk so much. I've sent
Yeah.
videos for them to watch of Dr. Barry's, Dr. Baker's, so many different things. And, there's only so much you can do. You've set the example. Now, a lot of people find it very difficult when you're the only one in the household. When I
Hmm.
started, I was cooking for 7 people. I just didn't eat what they were eating. I cooked it for them, but that didn't mean I had to sit there and eat it. So yeah,
Yeah.
this
I mean,
right
it can be
here.
tempting sometime, like
Mhm.
temptations are hard when you see the foods that you're trying to stay away from in your pantry and so forth. So it makes it tough.
Yeah. And I mean, they had their junk food there, and it was right out where I could see it. But by the time I had made up my mind to do this, to eat this way, I had thought about it for 3 months when my sister first approached me and kept going. And when I finally decided to, my head was so in the game then. It was like, all right, this is what we're going to do, and we're not going to sway no matter what. They wanted potatoes, I cooked potatoes for them. They wanted rice, I cooked rice for them. The protein they ate was what I cooked for myself. If I wanted broccoli, they got broccoli, because it was keto. This comment right here is what people get so aggravated about diehard carnivores, the dogmatic people in the community. This is exactly. I thank you for coming by if you're still here, but this is uncalled for. Because no two people are the same. There's Chris's pizza recipe. And you know what brand of hot dogs you usually buy? I just buy them from Aldi. I had found Nathan's and Hebrew National to be about the cleanest. They didn't have corn syrup, dextrose, all that crap in them. That was like when I made the egg pancakes and somebody asked me if they tasted eggy at all. Well, of course they're going to be eggy. They're eggs. I eat them very, very seldom. Same here. But, on occasion, it sounded pretty good. You can lead a horse to water, but can't make it drink. Best not to push it on them. That's right. Yep. And hello, Mr. Rick, Twin Brook Acres. He has a channel too. That's funny. Yeah. Hi, Rick. And Jerry, let's not forget Bill Knott's channel.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I haven't watched a whole lot of his either. Gotta say. My sincerest apologies, Ricky. She's almost allowed to call him that. This is Rick also. Twin Brook Acres. That's funny. There's Rick's channel, Twin Brook Acres. So anyway, sorry about the little rant, but when comments like that come up, it's not cool. Not cool.
Yeah. I mean, I know Anthony, and I think where he's coming from is that he has to stay very strict, and he's had a lot of health issues.
But so that's great for him. But to make a comment like that, there's a lot of addicts in here, I gotta go. Well, that's that dogmatism that people talk about so frequently in the community. That there's the carnivores and the keto people that are like, shouldn't be button heads. It's all part of the ketogenic way of eating. Every bit of it. Right. Everybody is in this to better their health, whether they're low carb, keto, ketovore, carnivore. It should not matter. As long as they're successful and they're doing what's right for them. That's what's key. It's like, that burned my, you know what? Sherry said, I was still married to the ex for another 10 years when I started eating low carb. Me not eating those high carb foods caused many fights. That's just nuts. And Donna, that's exactly what I'm saying. Everybody has to do what works for them and not be so rude about it to anybody else. So true, Donna. Cindy, preach. If there's anything that bugs me, it's that. It's like, you hear about it so much. That was rude. Addicts don't get better without a few stumbles. Yeah. Sherry with a blue dress, Sherry with blue dress, Sherry with blue dress on. There's a picture of her on her Facebook page when she was younger in this blue dress and showing all this leg. And yeah. N equals 1. Exactly. Ketogenic woman has a lot of good carnivore. Yes, she does. I've had the pleasure of meeting her too, and been on her channel, and she's been on my channel, and it's been great. It's really been great. But do you have any last words? We've been an hour and a half. This is just like
Yeah.
it flies by for me. It just
Yep. So last words.
sure for tonight, not
Uh,
forever, but
yeah.
just for
Oh
tonight.
yeah. I hope not forever. Yeah. um. Boy, I don't know. See, I'm used to being on the other side and asking other people what their last words are. I'm not used to giving the last words.
No, no, I just put
Ugh.
him on the spot
I
again.
know. I
What the
know.
heck?
Boy, I don't know. So I'll say this, I guess. I'm really big on motivation and accountability and that kind of stuff. Um, and I'm sure probably most people have already heard this, but I'm just gonna put it out there anyway. If you struggle, always know that there's nothing you can do about the past. What you can concentrate on is the now, and just go past it. Do your best to do what you can to eat healthy now. And one thing that if you're struggling a lot that you can look at is, what is your why, as in why you are doing this. And I think it's very important that the why isn't just like a goal. It isn't like a I need to lose 50 pounds or something like that. It's got to be something that has a lot of meaning to you, and that is not gonna you're not gonna necessarily get to a point that, okay, I have accomplished my why. Now what? Right? So
Yeah.
like, I will tell you what my why is. My why has been, ever since I started, that I want to get healthy so that I can watch my kids grow up, go to college, kids of their own, families, that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And so that I can grow old with my wife and be healthy enough to do things with my wife, as I retire and that kind of stuff, right? Be able to
Right.
do things and not feel like I can't do them because I'm in pain and that kind of stuff. A little bit of a long why, but that's my why. And
No, because
I'm able
when
to keep going with that, right? Like,
Mhm.
it's always something I can keep striving for, keep trying to achieve. And um the, the other thing with this is, always remind yourself of your why. And if you're having times that you're struggling, when you wake up every morning, remind yourself of your why. And that's
Mhm.
going to help you to stay on point and to stay on track.
Well, considering your wife is part of your why, you see that every day,
Hmm.
and your kids, you see that every day, and that's huge. I've heard somebody say, "Well, this is their why," and then somebody would ask them, "But why?" And then why, and then why.
Yeah.
You answered all that, you know.
Hmm.
Mine, they say you need a why that's going to make you cry, and family will do that, no matter what. My husband is mine. My health, yeah, well, whatever. But my husband is mine. He has cervical dystonia that just keeps getting worse. I need to be here for him. And that's it.
Yeah.
Jerry said, I still have that dress, I think. You should model it again. Evelyn met Anita on the cruise. That was great because she's a fantastic lady. These two are crazy. Thank you both so much. Thank you, Donna. Good night, all. Thanks for sharing your story. Yes, yes. Again, thank you. What would you like on your tombstone pizza? If you like pizza, And you're okay with Alfredo sauce. Make Chris's pizza. It will not disappoint. Your wife would even eat it. I think you need a permanent late note from your mother, Ricky. Okay, 25-year-old Sherry in the blue dress is going on to YouTube also. There you go. You're going to have a booming channel before long. Good point. To bring up the memory of your why you started, because it's been a while for me. Yep. It's like keeping it in the forefront. Will just, it's there. Like you said, you got to see it every day. And you got to, recognize it every day, because Brian's here. My Brian is here every day. This Brian is not. Just so you just keep that square. I think you're correct, Lynn, but my schedule will be getting a little lighter starting next week. Good. And everybody's saying good night. Cindy, your why makes me cry. I'm sorry, Jerry. Don't be crying. No. And Sherry said to you, that sounds like a wonderful why. Yes. Thanks for everything, friends. Good night. Evelyn, I need to talk to you. I don't have your phone number. Message me. Good night, all. Hit the thumbs up. Thank you so much. And Brian, again, thank everyone in the chat for coming, all my members, and I haven't run the banner, and I'm so sorry. But you all know who you are, and thank you so much. I wouldn't want to do this without all of you. Brian, you saved my butt this week. Thank you so much. I would have been sitting here bumbling like an idiot or something. But,
Oh, thanks for having me on. It's been a lot of fun.
It has. It has. And thank you. Thank you again. And you have a good night. Everybody in the chat, thanks for spending your Friday night with us. Appreciate it. Good night, everyone.